you have 10,000 XRP, you're rich, and that's what we're going to talk about in this movie. Your questions about how much XRP is enough and how much XRP should I hold are common. I'll do my best to answer your question by using some analytics, research, and data that will show how much money you could make if XRP hits certain price targets, which we think it will do in the future. That's how much XRP you should hold. In terms of the rich list, where are you? All that great information is no longer true. It has changed a lot. There are almost 3 times as many XRP users and wallets now as there were in October 2024. It's crazy, but I'm going to talk about all of that in today's video. Let's start with this short video that gives you an overview of the XRP rich list on October 9, 2024, so you can see how much it's changed since then. You need to be able to adapt to a changing environment. I have also made movies about this before. Today, things are different. Do you hear that? Traders must have at least 61,000 XRP to be in the top 1%. In October 9, 2024, you needed at least 3,011 XRP to be in the top 10%. I'm going to show you some information now to show you how this has changed over time. Near the bottom of this screen, you can see the number of accounts whose sums start with ... About 10% of people who own XRP will have at least 2,500 XRP, which means that 90% of people who own XRP have less than 2,500 XRP. About 5% of people who own XRP have at least 8958 XRP. That 4% have more than 11,000 XRP, and 1% have about 51,000 XRP. And now it gets really interesting when we look at this example again, because the amount of XRP people hold in each bank has changed a lot. Today there are more people holding XRP at lower levels than there were today. This means that it's easier to get on this rich list and become one of the top XRP holders than it was on October 9, 2024. The story here is very interesting and draws you in. There are a lot more wallets with XRP now than there were before, but the average amount of XRP in each wallet has changed a lot. So if we look at the XRP ritual list a little later or a little earlier, on September 28, 2023, we can also see some really interesting data. It was about 47,000 wallets that were in the top 1% of users. At the time, that meant they had 67,000 XRP in their account. If you go back to now, the top 1% has 63,000 wallets, but the average amount you need to have in order to be in the top 1% is over 51,000. That is absolutely amazing. Over the past 2 years, the amount of XRP you need to be in the top 1% has dropped by about 16,000 to 15,000 units. There are now more ways to get rich with XRP in case we reach very high numbers. The past wallet count is the next thing I really want to show you. This is a very important measure because it makes growth very clear. As you can see, there was some growth on June 1st, 24.4. You should know that the number of XRP wallets was going up, but all of a sudden, on October 24, we saw a huge jump in growth that will last until the new year of 2025. Once again, it took off like a jet when it got to February or January. It looked like a straight line going up. This growth has been going on for a few months now, all the way up to April, which is the month we're in now. I'd also like to show you this chart. You can see just how completely crazy things have been for the last 10 to 11 months. Even though we won't have numbers on April until soon, I have to say that is truly amazing. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is the number of accounts that are currently in the sum of balance area, because this has also changed a crazy amount in the last few years. I remember looking at the total number of accounts that have XRP in them, and it's always been about the same, with the only difference being that the higher levels of users have more. There are 2.6 billion XRP in the picture, but you don't need as many as you did before. Wallets cost between 0 and 20 XRP. There are 2.5 million wallets with 20 to 500 XRP, 230,000 wallets with 500 to 1,000 XRP, and 528,000 wallets with 1,000 to 5,000 XRP. One thing that's clear is that there are a fair number of people with between 5,000 and 10,000 coins, but once you go over 25,000, the number of buyers drops by a huge amount. What I mean is, to be honest, if you're a smart investor and keep adding to your holdings, and you live in a first world country, It is possible for all of you watching this video to reach 100,000 XRP in your lifetime. And if having 100,000 XRP puts you in the top 0.5% of holders, as we can see right here marked, that is crazy because the top 0.5% of earners are very wealthy. We're going to look here. It's hard to say exactly how much money the top 0.5% of earners in the US have, but it's around 11.6 million. About that much, give or take a few $1,000,000. There are a lot of things that affect this, especially the taxes. Having just 100,000 XRP will put you in the top 0.5% of XRP users and give you a net worth of $11,600,000, 0 cents. That's a pretty high XRP. What's clear is that if you have more than 10,000 XRP, which is about 11,200, you're already in the top 4% of users, which today would mean you are very rich. That's all there is to it, guys, I believe. We really break it down when we look at the numbers. By most measures, having 10,000 XRP makes you rich. You know, stores are running out of money. People are holding less XRP on average because it's getting too expensive for them to buy it in the long run. And it gives you guys a chance to stand out by being able to hold more while other people are holding less.